Alright, so you've got your W123 and she won't start. Let's take a look and see what we can do. Pull the tab forward and lift it up after you've done the little latch inside of the vehicle. Alright. So, first thing you generally check connections, but it's handy to have a multimeter. And make sure you got two wires. Black wire goes into the port labeled COM, and red wire goes into your voltage side. So let's take a look. Alright, so here's our battery. Alright, battery is there. So get our multimeter and we turn it on to voltage for DC, which is like a straight line, not the wavy line. We put it down and we double check. Now, what we're doing is we're putting voltage. This is the negative line, this is the positive one. For the red positive, black negative. Now on my one I've got it's red on this side, which is a good indicator, but you're also looking for a little plus symbol. So yeah, it's on there, little plus, and then a little minus there. And it's also written underneath minus, and then plus on the battery itself. So yeah, let's get this back into its clamp thing. And then we'll take our measurement. Alright. So onto metal section of the plus, not on the paint or the plastic. 12.76 volts. So yeah, it's a little bit low, but she'll start. Alright. Now, if she doesn't start like that, and you've got voltage, it's generally a connection issue. Now, either you've got a bad connection on the starter motor itself, which is not on the injection side, but on this side of the engine. And it is just underneath here. You can see a little sticker on it just there. So yeah, that's the actual starter motor. And there's two lines at the back, and they need to have a good connection. Now, if you're in a snowy area and your car has had some spray put all over it from the underside to protect it from salt roads, then yeah, you probably have a bad connection down there, because what happens is the spray just goes into everything and it gets in between connections on the starter motors sometimes. So the idea is you need to take off the cable, clean it, a bit of sandpaper, make sure it's all nice and shiny, and put it all back together, and it should start. If that doesn't work, what you need to do is go underneath the car, because the reason for that is on this side of the car, from inside the engine bay, you can see down there how there's a that wire that's going from the body of the car over here, bolted in, and it's going to the side of the engine and transmission, and that's bolted in. That's your earth lead, or your negative lead, from every electronic device in the car. And yeah, if that's not there, or you've got a bad connection on it, your car won't start, or you'll have a lot of difficulty starting it, because that's the main route of electrical power to complete the circuit from one side of the battery to the other. So it goes from the positive side, through a relay or so, through your key ignition, and then it goes to the starter motor. But then from the negative side of the starter motor, it's got to go through the body of the car to this guy, that post there. and you've got this cable here, but sometimes, and it's done to the body of the car, but sometimes this connection's not really good, it's not the best. So yeah, it's either this one here is no good, and you need to take it off, clean it, sandpaper on the inside of the connection, take this off, sandpaper on the inside and all that, make it all nice and shiny, and then re-put it back together, and then just put some Vaseline or something over the top to prevent it from rusting in the future, and it'll start. Now yeah, once that's done, then yeah, everything should work fine. Now I'll go underneath the car in a moment, and first we got to lift it up, so that's why I've got this lift jack here and the two stands. We're going to lift the front part section of the car up, and we shall take a look at the cable for grounding, which is missing on a lot of vehicles, and they wonder why they have starting issues. Anyways, let's keep it going. Alright, so I've got this underneath there, and I'm lifting it up, going by just underneath the cross member, not the oil pan, the cross member. So yeah, it's underneath the engine, and we are lifting. So yeah. Alright, so you'll have to ignore the noise. That's some of the neighbours' kids doing their practice band in the garage. He's hoping it turns out well and they become like Nirvana. Start off as a little garage band and then become one of the biggest bands in the world. Anyway, so let's continue with this. So what I've done is I've got the this guy on the cross member holding it up, and 1 and 2. Now, they're holding up on the rails, not on these guys, because these guys rust out sometimes and you just can't trust them. So underneath the rail itself, and then also leaving that guy back in, and my little drip tray. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a leak, but I'll fix it when I get the time. So yeah, this wire here, it goes from the side of the transmission to the body of the car, just there. That's it. That's all you need, guys. So you clean it up, make it all nice and shiny and stuff, and then you put this one there, and then to there, and that's it. I actually had a second one because I didn't want any issues, and I put it to here, that one there, but I've taken it off, and I might send this one to a special lady if she doesn't have one, my girl. So yeah, love you, sweetheart. So yeah, this one here will probably end up going to my girl if she's missing her one on her car, and that's why I'm taking that one off, and that leaves me with just the one. Goes between there and there, just the body of the car to the back of the engine, essentially, just on one of the bolts. So it's a 17mm there, and I believe it is a 13mm on this side here, and that's pretty much it. So once that's in place, you'll get good electrical contact, and yeah, your car should start. Alright, now if it doesn't start from that, then I believe you have starter motor issues. So yeah, I'll show you again from the top. So there you got battery, or should I say, this guy here is the oil filter housing. So 1, 2, 13mm, take it out, and then they pull out the actual filter itself, and then you put the new one in, and put it in and do it up. Anyways, a little bit of a sidetrack. So yeah, so just down there, this wire right there, one that I'm kind of holding on to. It's very thick, bare cable wire. Sometimes it rusts through, sometimes you get rust forming on that one there, or on the other side, on the back of the transmission. And if you, like I said, if you live in a salt road area and you get coating put on, it can seep in and cause issues with the car starting. So, yeah. And when you're actually getting a click, that can either be your solenoid's working or not, but sometimes it actually means that it's working properly, but the car can't get enough juice, like can't get enough electrical power, so that way you can turn over properly. You know, it's kind of like, what is it? It's a very thick milkshake that's super thick and you need a big straw, but for some reason you have only got the tiniest straw in the world and it's just not pulling through. That's the case with here. If you have a bad connector down there or it's missing, you've got a very small straw and you just can't, you know, start the engine because, well, it needs too much electrical juice to you know, to pass through the small little wire that's, well, taking an alternate route. So get that sorted and your car should start. If it doesn't start at that point, then I would start looking at the starter motor itself. So I would pull the starter motor out and then actually test it on a bench with a car battery. So you put 12 volts to the actual starter motor itself, clip on the little actuator thing, and then and then see if it'll actually spin. It won't have a load on it, but you'll at least see if it's working or not, like functionality. So yeah, anyways, I hope that's been helpful. That is one of the videos I wish to make today. Let's get on to the second one.